All right, music fans, welcome back. It is I, Dave, the real music observer, observing real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. All right, I started this channel a couple years ago, and I was uploading videos about the drama that was unfolding in the band Chicago. At the time, I was beating up on Jason Scheff because Jason decided to take, like 5 months off or something to take care of a family member. And I didn't get a lot of details on what it was. I think some of his family were upset at me for saying stuff, and then I apologized kind of, but then I was still like, yeah, Jeff Coffey needs to be the singer. And eventually Jeff became the singer. And my videos, I don't think they played any role in helping Jeff become the singer. But I certainly got a lot of people interested in Jeff by doing these videos, and I got a lot of people who were really angry at me about Jason Scheff. First of all, again, this video has to be first and foremost about a rock-solid apology, again, to Jason Scheff. Because the information that I have now about the situation, Chicago had this guy Donnell in their rear view mirror, okay, back before the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Donnell, in this crazy SunCloud interview, basically says so. And yeah, I was in contact the whole time, and just waiting for that phone call, and they had to make a change again, and so I stepped up and I became the singer. I answered the bell. It would have been a better situation if honesty was used throughout. Okay, I don't know if it's, Tony's going to break your kneecaps if you say anything. This management that's going on, not sure it's actually management. I think it's chaos. It's craziness. So you got this guy, Donnell, who you like a real lot, who you think's going to work better with your demographics. He's a little older. In the interview, he talks about how he relates so well to the old-time band guys, and you don't need a bus number 1 or number 2, because then you can have a bus number 1, and then, I don't know, everybody else drives to the gig. I just, the whole Bus 2 concept was awesome when it was on Facebook, and, Keith Howland and Lou Pardini and all those guys, they were just having a blast. I mean, and then you lose, by the way, you lose Triz and Bowden. Now, Triz has a new wife. I believe her name's Mary. But this, again, there's some questions. There's just questions, 67 and 68. There's a lot of questions here. And as a half journalist, because I'm not really a journalist, I'm an observer, but when people call me up and say, hey, you know what you were saying about so-and-so? Well, this is what I know, and, all of that good stuff. And this was validation of my video where I kind of said the management is screwed up here. And here's why I need to apologize to Jason Scheff more. Because if they ousted Jason Scheff and made it look like, oh, he had a family problem and he needs to take time off indefinitely, and in the meantime, we've got to get Jeff Coffey in. And Jeff Coffey, why did Jeff Coffey get in? And why didn't Donnell just get in? Why, if this guy was preordained because they had an audition and apparently Donnell didn't work as well as... Jeff Coffey plays bass. He's a real tenor. The other guy, even though he sings like 22 octaves, doesn't sound like anybody. And I've been saying this now. I've seen the concert. I've seen Brass Transit. It's good music if it's a smoky room, there's lots of noise, you've had a couple of beers, and you can kind of say, yeah, that kind of sounds like Chicago, man. That's cool. He's right on key. He can sing really anything, but the problem is he doesn't sound like anybody, okay? Now, again, if you're the management of Chicago and you're feeding the general public misinformation, you already fed a lot of misinformation about the number of tour dates. Oh, we expect, it can be very rewarding, these guys, but we expect them to be out on the road for about 150. No, it's not 150, it was 270. All right? 270 days a year. I don't know how Robert Lamb's doing it. 73 years old? I don't know how the hell he's doing it. It's just bizarre. But getting back to all of this, why do I owe Scheff an apology? Number one, because I beat the crap out of him 2 years ago. And if they had a problem with his voice, which it sounds like they were getting tired of what he sounded like, maybe because he was straining, but Jason Scheff wasn't missing notes. He was hitting those notes, but he was working his butt off to try to do it. Was his voice the same as it was 30 years ago? No. But listen to him on the new Tommy Malm project he just did not too long ago. His voice sounds terrific. He still has a great singing voice. There were probably ways to deal with this that were, I guess, more transparent and didn't just, we've already picked this guy, so just hang in there. As soon as we get rid of Scheff, and then as soon as Coffey decides to leave, you can come in. And that's kind of the way it looks. Now, I don't know. Did Coffey leave? Maybe he left because he's tired of being in this guy's shadow. You know what I mean? He might have said, the touring is bad. I'm willing to tour, but it's this issue too. It's like, and by the way, this guy he did guest vocals for the band up in Toronto. You can see it on YouTube or Montreal, wherever it was. It was up in Canada. And he filled in, and he did a nice job. And he was billed as like this amazing singer who's sung more things in Canada than anyone else in history. I'm not overly impressed. I would take any of the 3 singers Chicago has had, including the current version of Peter Cetera, who has to sing everything at least a step down, but at least he sounds like a tenor, and he sounds like Chicago. Karaoke, I can go to a bar down the road and watch karaoke. So that's it. I guess I want to say sorry again, Jason Scheff, if you know what I'm talking about, or if anybody wants to refute this, you can, but my source is really close to the situation, and more or less all they did was confirm my last video about the vocalist chaos and so forth. If you want to go see Chicago, great, but you can go watch Leonid and Friends from Russia, or a number of other fine Chicago tribute bands, including Brass Transit, who have continued to make music or to continue to go out there without their frontman, Neil Donnell, who is now in Chicago. All right, that's it. I know that might not have made sense to some people who weren't on the inside or who hadn't been with me from the very beginning, but I had to get that video off my chest. Again, Jason Scheff, you're a good man, Charlie Brown, and I am real sorry for what I did to you that summer. You have yourself a great day, everybody. Talk to you soon.